From our last episode, we saw how Joseph's missing cup was found in Benjamin's bag, which made his brothers went back to the city. Today we shall find out what unfolds by reading our Bible from Genesis chapter 44 from verse 14 to 33. From this passage of the Bible, we saw that Joseph was still at home when his brothers got to his house. So Judah and his brothers threw themselves to the ground before Joseph. Joseph said to them, "What is this you have done? Don't you know that a man like me can find out things by divination?" Judah replied, "What can we say? How can we prove our innocence? God has found out our iniquity. We are now your slave, both we and the one who was found to have the cup." But Joseph said, "God forbid that I should hold every one of you. The only person that will be my slave is the one who stole my cup. The rest of you can go in peace." Then Judah came close to Joseph and begged to allow him speak a word into his ears, and that his anger shouldn't rise up against him, because he, Joseph, is equal to Pharaoh. While speaking into Joseph's ears, Judah reminded Joseph how he gave them an order that unless they provided their youngest brother, they wouldn't set their eyes on him to buy food in Egypt. He also told Joseph how their father sent them to buy food for the second time, but they bluntly refused their father's message because he did not allow Benjamin to go with them to Egypt in order to prove their innocence. Judah told Joseph how their father later agreed for them to go with Benjamin, but told him, Judah, that if anything happens to Benjamin, he will bring his gray head down to the grave in pain. Judah explained to Joseph how their father Jacob said to them before releasing Benjamin to go with them, "You know my wife Rachel bore me two sons. One of them went away from me, and I've concluded that he has surely been torn into pieces, and I haven't seen him since then. If you take this one from me, and any harms come to him, you will bring my gray head down to the grave in misery." Judah also told Joseph that if he doesn't go home with Benjamin, their father might die, and he, Judah, will bear the blame of his father's death all his life, because he gave his father an assurance that Benjamin will be brought back alive and healthy. Judah gave himself to be Joseph's slave instead of Benjamin. He pleaded with Joseph not to allow him go back home without his brother Benjamin, else he will bring pain to his father Jacob. The story continues. From our last episode, we saw how Judah gave himself to be Joseph's slave instead of Benjamin. Today we shall find out the outcome of his plea by reading our Bible from Genesis chapter 45 from verse 1 to 14. From this passage of the Bible, we saw that after Judah spoke these words to Joseph, Joseph could no longer control his emotion. He cried out loud before everyone. He then commanded everyone to leave his presence. Everyone present there left his presence except his brothers. Joseph wept so loud that the Egyptians and Pharaoh's household heard about it. Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? But his brothers could not answer him because they were afraid at his presence. Joseph told his brothers to come close to him. When they came close, he told them again that I am Joseph, the one you sold out into Egypt. Joseph told them not to be angry or grieved with each other because they sold him out. He told them that God actually sent him ahead in order to preserve lives. Joseph explained to them that for 2 years there have been famine and that the famine will last for another 5 years. But God sent him ahead of them to preserve them, a remnant on earth, and to save their lives by a great deliverance. Joseph told them they weren't the one who sent him, but God, and God made him father to Pharaoh and lord of all his house and ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Joseph told them to hurry back home to his father and said to him, This is what your son Joseph says. God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me and do not delay. You, my father, shall come live in the land of Goshen and be near me, both you, your children and grandchildren, your flocks, herds, and all that you have. I will provide and nourish you in the land of Goshen, because 5 years of famine are still yet to come. Else, you and your household will come to poverty. Joseph told his brothers and Benjamin that they should be convinced by now that he was the one speaking to them. He told them to go home quickly to Canaan and bring down his father, and also tell his father of all his honor and everything they have seen about him in Egypt. Joseph threw his arm around his brother Benjamin and wept. Benjamin also embraced him, weeping as well. Joseph kissed all his brothers and wept. And after that, his brothers talked with him. The story continues.